Okay,
All right,
Steve,
there we go. I got it
just...
recording. It took a quick second.
Okay. So Steve is going to share a little about himself.
You want me to? You sure?
Unless you want me to.
No, that's all right. I can do it. I'm going to try to get my presentation thing up here. Okay. All right, good. So I'm Steve Armstrong, Digital Communications Coordinator. I work with the tech coordinators for all the different families. And today we have a super cool, we think it's super cool, PL for you today on video creation and different apps that you can use for video. Can everybody see my, can you see my screen there, Shannon?
Yes, I can.
Okay, good. All right. So this is us here. And I've got 2 or 3 different computers I'm going to be throwing in here to the group. So that's why I'm kind of a little bit slow. But we took some of the things here from the Bitmoji class that we had last week and added them in there. Had a little bit of fun with that. So any questions, just unmute your mic, yell at us to break us up, or we'll have the other coordinators monitoring the chat and we'll try to answer those. I think we're like right at 45 minutes. So this shouldn't take too long, but we have 3 really good tools that we're gonna show you today. So we'll get going here. Did I miss anything there, Shannon?
Nope. I think that's
okay,
it.
Good. All right. This is your slide. Did I jump ahead too far?
Nope. Okay. Okay. So today we're going to just kind of preface this with, we're going to be showing you 3 different video creation tools. One of the things we know is that some of our kids have access to Zoom and some of our kids do not. So when we kind of put all of our true teaching lessons in Zoom, we might be eliminating some of our audience, giving them equitable access. So there's 2 kind of new buzzwords you've probably heard around education right now: synchronous teaching and asynchronous classes. So I've got kind of the 2 dancers at the top that are doing the same dance. And that's kind of the idea that when you're presenting a live lesson, like in your classroom, where everybody's learning the same thing at the same time, that's a synchronous learning environment. So when we do Zoom or you have a whole class meeting, that's kind of that synchronous learning environment. The tools today that we're going to show you are kind of more for asynchronous learning. So times when your kids could access these videos on your LMS page or another location, but it allows them to watch at their own time, watch it on repeat. They can learn on their own. It doesn't have to be happening at the same time. So asynchronous learning. And really when we think about our current situation, and I know we're kind of ending this kind of round of remote learning, that is one thing that we want to keep in mind, is that if we can provide more asynchronous environments, asynchronous resources, then maybe more of our kids will have a chance to participate in the learning. Okay.
Awesome. And that's just a video. That's a video. I used my iPhone up in the top right corner, Shannon and I outside of Grile. And so I just stuck it on a little tripod. So as we get into that, you can do something like that, but did pretty good with that.
And the bottom video is from Steve's home videos back about 15 years ago.
Absolutely. Yep. Just the mustache, then no beard. No
That's
comments,
right.
Chris Burton. All right. Here we go. All right. So I want to go over a few general tips for the video stuff that we're looking at today, and just some things for you to think about as you're putting your videos together in these 3 tools. The first one is always know your audience, who it is. So we see teachers creating different videos for their staff. Principals have creating it for their staff, so also teachers creating it for their students. So who is it you're targeting, and how do you want this to lay out? So kind of storyboarding it a little bit, as I call it, and knowing what you want to get in there. We went to a video creation class at a conference a couple years ago, and one of the things they'd said was always try to keep your videos to 4 minutes or less. So the people, if it's longer than 4 minutes, they'll get bored with it. Now Shannon's got some suggestions for longer videos later, but if you're making a quick video for your students, try to keep it 4 minutes or less, just so their attention doesn't get away. If you're making a video that you want me to see, make it 2 minutes or less. I'm ADD, so I can only stick around there for so long. So I'm probably going to end this session early. 45 minutes, can't do it. Remember where your microphone. Go ahead.
sorry, Steve, one thing to say about that, we know that a lot of the lessons or things you have to present are longer than 4 minutes, but when you look at your lesson plan, maybe make an opener that's less than 4 minutes, then your first teaching point is, you know, a video less than 4 minutes. So instead of just making one long continuous lesson, kind of break it up into chunks where, okay, now you're gonna write on your paper after I've taught you this, and then they come to the next lesson. So just kind of, like Steve said, storyboarding your lesson plan and thinking, where do I need to make small videos?
Perfect. All right. The next one there is remember where your microphone is located. So I've seen some of you use microphones, external microphones, and that's awesome. I'm using my AirPods, so it has a microphone built into it. But if you're just using a microphone inside your Lenovo laptop, know where that's at. And a lot of times I'll see teachers or people just talking to the laptop, and you see the video on the screen, but then they start talking to the left or right, and you kind of cut in and out a little bit. So always remember where that's at. The next one, if you can add background music, we've got an application that we use for adding music and things to your videos to spice them up a little bit. If that's your thing, music's always a good idea because it can kind of make it more fun, speed it up a little bit, rather than just boring talk like listening to me right now. If you're using a webcam, make sure you're not in front of a window. I did a couple training videos when we first started this COVID, and then teachers are like, I can't even see you. All I can see is the sunshine shining through. And I'm like, that sunshine is me, right? No, it's not me. So kind of make sure your background is good. You wouldn't go to a movie theater and want to watch a movie that was all washed out and everything. So make it clear. And one of the apps we're going to use here in a second, you'll see we'll use the webcam quite a bit in it. Don't use too much text. One of my favorite books is a book. It's called The Presentation Secrets of Steve Jobs. And when Apple does new announcements, they keep their text very limited. I probably have too much text on this slide here, but don't overwhelm them. Just give them the quick points when you're using text. And then the last one is have fun and be contagious. Make it fun. I always, if you've seen any of my training videos, I always like to start the video out with like a joke or something funny to kind of capture their attention. Just have fun with it. Nobody wants to listen to like monotone, you know? So, and I went to a conference once and they were talking about music and like classical music and how it stimulates your mind. And so they would have studies where they had teachers play music when kids were coming into the class to get their objectives and stuff. And then also classes that didn't have that, and the kids were more connected and stuff. So just have fun with it, make it fun and engaging to them, ask them a bunch of questions. This is a resource that I just added so we're gonna get into this now. So this is a resource that is not one of the 3 that we had that we said we were offering for you, but I just wanted to tell you about this. Anytime that we create live streams, so if you watched any of our integrated live streams before the COVID hit, all the tools that we use in there, the tech tips, are tools that we can use in the classroom. They're not ones that we have to pay for. So this is one, it's called classroomscreen.com. And I'm gonna switch over to my other page here in a second. But this is classroomscreen.com. And I wanna show you an example of that. If I can get back to, yeah, here we go. So this is classroomscreen.com. Did you see the refresh there, Shannon?
We still see your presentation.
My presentation.
Now we see it.
All right, good, good. I'll come back to it. So classroomscreen.com. And what this does is this is an application that you can, a website that you can put on your Lenovo screen and then project it to your projector if you're in elementary, or your monitor if you're in secondary. And you can have it up on the screen during the class. But they just rewrote this. So they redid it. They added a bunch of new free features. And over here down in the bottom, you can change the background. So this is a picture that I took, but you can change any picture that you want there. You can actually cycle through multiple pictures. So you may choose to have different pictures of your kids. The options down here in the beginning, we use this as a timer for when we're using our live streams. So a countdown to kind of when we'll start our learning. QR code, if you want to put a QR code up there for kids to get to Power School, you can do that. And all these options are right down here in the bottom. So that timer, the QR code, this is a new one that they added, just random name. So I selected all the names in our class on our team that started with S, and then I clicked choose, and it chooses a different name here. So you could just copy and paste your class list into there. So if you have, one of the things we've been hearing a lot is our kids talk all the time when they're in our classroom, but when we're on Zoom, nobody wants to talk. Now, I don't know if that's true for everybody, but I've heard that a couple times. So you could copy and paste and just click choose. Stanley, it's your turn to talk. Actually, I do not want Stanley to talk, if you've heard him talk before. We'll choose somebody else. So that'd be a good way for you to connect with the students and give them a little bit of me time to share what's going on there. A bunch of different things you can draw. So this is just a really cool one, classroomscreen.com. So that's an added bonus there. Go ahead, Shannon.
Back to your other one. Just so you know, like, this is great because you do not have to have an account. You don't have to sign up for anything. You just go to classroomscreen.com and you can utilize all the tools right away.
Yep, very good. And then just play music from, like you had going on YouTube or wherever you want to play your music. Are we good back to my presentation now?
Yep.
All right, excellent. So this is our first application that we want to show you today. It's called Screencastify. And I know probably several of you have already started using it. If you have, that's awesome. If you haven't used it in a while, there's a bunch of new features that they just switched from their paid version to their free version. So we're going to show you those today. A couple different things that this can do is you can record your screen or you can record your webcam. So if you just wanted to say, how can I send a video of myself to my students? This application would do that. Or you can do both. So if you wanted to record what's on your screen, so I'm going to show you my Power School screen here in a second, but you also wanted video of you, it'll do both of those together. And then if you just wanted not your whole screen, you're like, man, my desktop is a mess. So I don't want everybody to see that, but I just want to see what's in the web browser in Google Chrome. You can show them that as well. And then super easy, when we're done recording, and I'm going to show you this, we're going to walk through this together. You can upload it. Shannon and I will argue about where you can upload it here in a second. It's going to get real fun. But you can save it as a video file if you want to, if you're like me and you just want the video file, or if you want to go to Google Drive, whatever you want to do, I'll show you that as well. So this is Screencastify. And a couple of features here I'll show you before we get into it. You can record your screen, like we said. You can trim the videos, very basic trimming feature. But if you get something too long at the end, some dead space, you can cut that out as well. The paid version gives you a lot more editing features. You can export it, like I just said, into MPEG-4, Google Drive, YouTube, whatever you want to do. Full high definition, so it looks really good. It's not a small video. And there's no watermarks. They used to have one on there where it said Screencastify right where you were right in the middle of it, but you don't have that anymore. And then the paid versions over here, you get more editing features, priority support and stuff like that. But you got Shannon and I, so you don't really need priority support. We're pretty good support. Hey, I see the cat back there in the background. That's pretty good, Phillips. Pretty neat there. So we are, if you stick with us till the end, we got a paid version of this. We're going to give away free to anybody that signs up for our integrated emails. So you get the paid version. You get all the features there. So that one's there. So I'm going to escape out of this for a quick second and jump over to my other laptop. All right. Can you see my Power School page there?
It's coming up now. One of the things real quick while Steve's getting his thing going here is Screencastify is one I will say that the paid version is not like you have to have the paid version to make this really great. That's one of the good things. The free version of Screencastify is really good.
Awesome. All right. Is my Power School page up?
It's up.
All right. So rather than doing just a bunch of slides on how to do this and show you, I thought we would walk through it together. So if I get going too fast, yell at me, send a message in the thing there to tell me to slow down. I actually can't see my messages down there, so Shannon will have to tell me or something. So I've got my, in a quick note here before we get started, this Screencastify only works in Google Chrome. So it's an extension that you get inside of Google Chrome. And so I'll start and we'll show you how to get that. So I'm in Google Chrome here. I'm on my daughter's MacBook here. So I'm just going to click on a new tab and type in Screencastify, just up in the browser there. And that's gonna pull this up. And you go to Screencastify, and mine says it's already installed. Yours, if you haven't done this yet, you click on install. That will install that extension inside of your Chrome browser. So you see up here, I have my extensions. So I'm gonna go back to my PowerSchool. So it's this little pink arrow, and it's kind of hard to see, it's real small up there. But if I click on it, it'll pop up here, and that's Screencastify. That's how you get to it. It's real simple. It's not actually a website that you go to, it's a plugin. And so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go through some of the basics to set this up. And I'll document this for you if you get, you're like, Steve, you told me to switch this on and I forgot what you told me to switch on. We can go over that later. You don't have to get all this right now. But I like to make a few setting changes to this just so that one, it creates a better video for me in the end. So when my students are watching it, the video quality of what we're recording looks really good. And also it sounds good as well. So when I click on that link up there in the Screencastify, it pops this little box up. And this is where it gives you the options to do those things that we talked about. The browser tab, that's where if I select that, it's gonna only record what browser tab I'm on. So right now I'm on PowerSchool. It would only record that. It wouldn't record my Google Drive tab. If I click on the middle one and I choose desktop, it's gonna record everything that's on my desktop. So it's gonna record my Google Chrome, it's gonna record my Apple Doc down here, and my daughter has her text messages tied to this computer. So any text message that pops up, it's gonna record those as well. So I don't often do the whole desktop, I just do the browser tab that I'm working in. But if you didn't want to do a browser tab and you wanted to record a piece of software, then you would choose the desktop version. And then webcam there, right there on the right, webcam is just the video camera that's built into your Lenovo computer. For mine, I'm on a MacBook here, and so it's called FaceTime camera, but just a little bit different there. Then we have the option down here of microphone. What microphone do we want? I just want the default one that's built into your Lenovo. That way it picks up my voice good. And then camera, you can choose what camera you want. If you had an external camera, you might choose that. And then when you're ready to start recording, you're gonna click record. Now, a couple house cleaning tips here. The settings gear up in the right, those are some of the things I want you to change before you start, and I'll tell you why. We'll click on settings. How we doing on time, Shannon? We good? Am I talking too much?
No, but you might not get through everything you're going to show. Maybe just show some basics here and keep moving.
Absolutely. Yep. The settings tab here, resolution. What I like to do, that max frame rate there, I like to change that to 60. When you have smaller text on the screen, like PowerSchool, it gives you better quality for smaller text. So I like to change the quality to 60 there. Basically, more pictures every second. And then the resolution, 1920 by 1080. Choose the highest resolution. You want this quality to be really good. All right, so we'll get going here. Record button down in the bottom. I'm gonna go ahead and press record because I'm ready to show you my little PowerSchool demo that I had. I actually had an ESPN demo yesterday for our good friend Matt, but I'm gonna change it up today. We're gonna go on the fly here. So we're gonna hit record. And it is gonna start clicking, beeping down. I can hear that in my ears. I don't know that you guys can hear that. But you see I have my webcam now down here in the bottom. So you're probably seeing two different versions of me. And then it's also recording my screen here. And so what I can do is now talk to the students and tell them what I want them to do. So I had a teacher the other day say I created a 3 to 4 step process for an assignment that I created on the LMS, but all my students kept telling me when I got to step 2, I kind of got lost. So what I want to do is create this video and show them how to go through those steps. So the first thing I want you to do as a student is click on My Classes. And then I want you to choose Mr. Armstrong's 4th grade class. And you know, keep going through that so you can show them that. Now that I'm done, I pretend we went through all this. I'm done recording. So I'm going to come up here to that Screencastify button again up in the top right. And you'll notice it's still recording. It tells me it's recording up there. You could pause it if you wanted to get up and get a drink. You could stop it. You could delete it and start over. I think we're good to go. So I'm just going to hit the stop button. So we will hit stop, and it automatically is going to bring up this next page for us. And this is my video that it recorded. So if I highlight over it, you can see it's playing it. I'm going to pause it. It's playing my video. I can use this little scissor tool at the end to cut it down if I wanted to. But this is my video. I'm happy with it. I'm not going to make any changes for the sake of time here. I don't want Shannon yelling at me. She's got her presentation to do here, right? So,
yeah.
So we got our video here. We're ready to go. Those export options that we talked about in the beginning are up here in the right. So Google Drive, I can share it to my Google Drive. I could create a link to it if I wanted to. That's what that's asking me there. Share it to YouTube, straight to YouTube. Embed code. So when we've talked about embedding a video to the LMS, you could get the embed code right there. For me personally, I like to download the video. So I like to export it as an MPEG-4 file. That way I can text it to my friends or do whatever I want to with it. Shannon, you like to publish it straight to YouTube.
Yeah, okay, so one thing I like to do is put, like Steve said, there's a publish to YouTube video, and you can make it unlisted so only your class sees it. But what's nice about publishing it to YouTube is it hosts it so anybody can view it, even like if my class knows my YouTube channel, they can get that link. And then I can also see how many hits it has. So if I share that link, then I know 20 kids watched my video. If only 2 kids watched my video, I have no way of knowing that if it's just in my Google Drive.
Yep, good. And then I clicked on that more options. You could create a QR code. So it gives you a million different things that you can choose to export it. But probably publishing to YouTube is the easiest and the quickest way. That way it's there and you can just copy that link to your LMS page. Yeah. So that is Screencastify. Google Drive is obviously the first one. That's probably one of the most popular. The one I like down in the bottom is export video. If you are a video editor and you wanted to take that video and edit it, add the music and stuff that we talked about, that's the option you'd want to choose there if you do more advanced things with it. So that is Screencastify, kind of in a quick overview of that. I'm going to get out of this now and get back to our presentation.
And Steve, while you're wrapping up, a couple ideas for using Screencastify beyond just how-tos like Steve was showing. I've seen, and I haven't done this because I don't have a class, but teachers use this as, say a student turns in work and you want to give them feedback. They turn on their screen recorder, they record themselves giving some feedback to the student. They just go right how Steve showed you and copy the link to the video of themselves talking about it and maybe add that as a comment back to the students. And then they don't have to, spend time writing something out, especially if you're maybe a secondary teacher who has a ton of feedback to give. This could be a really quick option for replying to students. Okay.
Excellent. All right, am I stopping share now?
Yeah, I'll pick up where you're not here.
I'll keep recording.
Okay. Back to our presentation here. The last couple things about Screencastify, we didn't want to leave you without some ideas here. So this is an example of me, and you have to bear with me as a former kindergarten teacher. This is an example of me using Kami and Screencastify together. So if you push play, you can watch me do a little model lesson from a lesson from the FWCS curriculum. So if you want to see, I pulled a phonics lesson, how I could use Screencastify with my students. So I give a little time, so I say like, okay, let's look at these words that we have on our list today. And then I would, kind of dorky, but say like, okay, now it's your turn, and pretend to listen to them say it. So try to recreate some lesson activities for them. So there's an example here for that. And here's a little bit older grades 3 through 5 example of, again, pulling a reading passage from the ELA curriculum, showing you how you can have students record for a fluency example. So these are just kind of out there. We're going to post this session out on the technology resource page, so you can watch these YouTube videos on your own if you have a desire to see how it could possibly work in your classroom. Okay.
And one thing I forgot to share there, Shannon, I don't know if you have your Google Drive up, but just like if you're using Cami or Pear Deck, anytime you create something, Screencastify automatically creates a folder inside of your Google Drive for you, labels it Screencastify, and saves your videos in that, just like Cami and Pear Deck do. So if you've watched our other presentations on those, yeah, you'll see it right down there at the bottom. It creates a folder for you, and my Screencastify that I just did with you guys would automatically be in that folder. So that's where it automatically stores them.
All right, so our second tool that we're going to show you today is Flipgrid, but it's not the normal Flipgrid that maybe you thought. So if you are familiar with Flipgrid, what it is, it's a video response tool. So in a normal Flipgrid situation, I would post a topic for my students. Maybe it's a math problem I want them to solve, it's a passage I want them to read and respond to, or just, a community building activity. So I post a little video out there on Flipgrid, and then all my students record a video back to me. But Flipgrid came out recently with another tool called Shorts. And what Shorts is a short way to make videos that are only you teaching. It is not a response. So it's just like all of the cool tools you can use when you're creating a video in Flipgrid, but for you to create with your students for yours. So what's nice about Flipgrid Shorts instead of Screencastify is that really it's more like a webcam, you won't see what's on my screen like a website. But it's really easy to create several short video segments, and I can easily rearrange them on my screen. It also has a whiteboard mode that I'm going to show you these things in just a second. And what's nice is you can do live inking. You can also overlay photos. So you can add photos from your camera roll, emojis, stickers, etc. And then you can also apply filters. So you can kind of set the tone like in a Snapchat situation. So that is kind of the overview of why you might choose Shorts over Screencastify. If you're wanting to show things on your screen, Screencastify is the tool. If you just want to create some lessons for your kids, you might want to consider Flipgrid. So let's take a look. So this is kind of what the toolbar, when you start making a Shorts video, this is what your screen looks like. Oh, back here. I'm going to kind of walk through quickly the different tools that it has available because I think they're pretty cool. This first one is the magic ball. And what this does is it creates different filters for your video. So you want to click those at the start of your video, and it's going to apply them all the way through. So for example, this first pixelated one I put up here just to show you that this is an option if you don't want kids to see you. And this is also great for kids who maybe don't have media releases. And we're talking teacher presentation right now, but
was that like a no makeup day for you, Shannon?
That's when I do the black and white.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Black and white's no makeup. This is when you really have the kids are up all night, then you do the pixelated. So it's kind of a progression. But there's like 8 or 10 different filters that you can use. So you can kind of pick what you like, maybe to fit the tone of your lesson, and you can apply those filters. So I'm just kind of explaining to you, because when kids give responses in Flipgrid, they can use some of these same tools. So I want you to kind of be familiar with them. The next one I love is adding text. So this seems simple, but you can add text at any point throughout your recording. So say you are modeling for students like a vocabulary word, you can click the add text button and type in the vocabulary word at one point in your lesson. So you don't have to kind of prepare everything that you're going to talk about. I can add the word photosynthesis, and then I can start talking about it, and then I can delete it, or I can move it around. So maybe I have a word wall here that I'm going to talk about. I'm going to pull a word from mine, and then I'm going to move it over to the other side. So, or I can delete. I can click it and take it away. This would work for math problems that you want to flash up there, or like I said, vocabulary words, but it's just really great because you can type. Kids won't see you typing. They'll just see the words kind of fly in there. The next tool is emojis. Everybody loves emojis, so you can add them. You could cover your face. You could just decorate your screen with different emojis. With the emoji, they call them stickers, but they're emojis there that you can add. This is really great because it's the next one is the drawing tool. You can just draw right on your screen. So if you're talking, and like I said before, if you're modeling a math problem for kids, you never have to leave Flipgrid to do that. You just click the little pen and you mark up whatever you want on the screen. So here's a little screenshot. And all of these, again, when you click on them, have some links to take you other places too. So you don't have to remember all this right now. This one I missed a slide there. Oh, okay. Well, this whiteboard, it didn't come in there, but it is a whiteboard that will fill your screen. So your picture goes away, and now the screen could be totally white or totally black. And then you, again, use the pen, and you can write or model anything for students as well. It works on your touch screen, so if you have a stylus with your computer, you could use that as well to write. But what's nice is I could make do one problem and then pause, and then add another clip in later. The last one is custom stickers, and that is just you can pull any image that you have saved to your computer to use in your presentation. Okay. The last thing I'm going to point out before we move on is this little sticky note. And this is only something you can see when you're recording. So you could make a list of all the things that you want to talk about with your class, kind of like make a quick little lesson plan. They won't be able to see it when you record, but it will help you stay on topic. Okay. Okay. So here's some ideas for using them. The first one is using those emojis, where it may seem kind of silly, but here's a quick idea, and you'll be able to click on this YouTube video later, but you could create a virtual scene. So just kind of some fun ideas here for these last couple of weeks to get you through. You could give yourself a beach scene. You could pull the emojis that match the content that you're talking about. So if you're talking about the jungle, put the jungle emojis out there. If you just want to use emojis for maybe your kindergarten or first graders for math problems, you could say how many smiley faces have wide eyes, how many have their eyes closed, and write a math number sentence based on the smiley faces that you see that I've put on the screen. So it's just kind of some fun ways to think about using those emojis within your lesson. The next thing is creating a virtual morning message, or wherever you do that community building. So in this video, I just used Screencastify, and I pulled, let's see if I can play it a little bit here.
Good morning, kindergartners.
But what I do is I put kind of my word wall words up here. I point to different areas in this virtual Bitmoji classroom. So when they're watching it on this screen, it kind of feels like they're in my classroom. So I just kind of used all of the different tools that they had. My whiteboard to help them with the number of the day. I write it out there. So just kind of made it quick. It's only 2 minutes. That meets that 4-minute criteria Steve gave us, but it's just another way to incorporate this tool in your classroom. This is the last I think this is the last way I've got here, maybe one more. The last one is this is using custom photo stickers. And I wanted to show this one because when we talk about hooks or attention getters, or kids are tired of staring at each other, just like we probably are staring at each other on Zoom. This will give you some kind of interactive things that you would probably do in your classroom if you were live with them. So I'm doing a book talk up here on one of my favorite books, The Giver. I've got the book cover here that I just saved an image off the internet and pulled it in. And now I can talk about the characters, maybe compare it to the movie if I'm having them watch it with me. So I can just pull in those custom photo stickers. And this is great too to model for kids doing a book talk. They can add custom photo stickers as well to kind of enhance their book talks. The same with, say, I'm going to have my kids do a reading passage on sloths. I can put 3 pictures of sloths up on my screen to kind of say, okay, today this is in the first paragraph, this image. The second image talks about where they live. The third one talks about where they eat. I want you to be able to write, a sentence about each of those when you're done reading, or whatever it is. So you can add those different images to your screen and kind of give them a preview to what they're going to be reading about. And the last way is you can use, instead of have you ever tried to balance, probably I'm doing now, a piece of paper in front of your web camera to show kids something? It's kind of hard to do because you're mirrored. So instead of doing that, you could just take a picture of whatever document you have and add it as a custom photo sticker, and then use your whiteboard or white pen drawing and just write right over that custom photo sticker. Okay. They're really easy to share when you're done. So right now I just get once my video is done, I've made it for my class. All I have to do is click copy of this link, and I can post that link on my LMS page and kids can see it automatically. There's also this embed button where I could just click that embed code, and then my kids never even have to go to Flipgrid. I can just use the embed the web on PowerSchool, and now they can see my video by just clicking on the screen. Okay, I tried to talk fast and that was a lot. So Steve, I think you're up with clips now. Unless there's questions.
We did good. I think we're 2 minutes ahead of time, so okay. We're doing good there. I don't see anything in the chat as far as questions, so Unless somebody throws one into us, we will go ahead and jump into the next one and the last one, which is Apple Clips. A little disclaimer here. This is Apple Clips. That's the name of the app. Clips is an app that's on iPads and on your iPhone. So if you don't have either of those, just hang with us because we're not going to spend a lot of time on this one. But this is just an application that you can use as a teacher. We actually did a PL with a school this morning. Their K through 2 teachers are all going to use Apple Clips as part of their curriculum. And we can give that to you if you're interested in that as well. But we just wanted to show you this one. It does some of the features that Flipgrid has with the emojis. They use the Apple emojis in there. But we put this little tutorial video in. I think it's about 3 minutes long. I don't think we're going to watch this one right now. We'll watch the next one. But this just kind of gives you an idea of how you set up Apple Clips on your iPhone or iPad, and you create quick little videos for your students. So this is a sample of Apple Clips. I want to play this one. This is one that Shannon put together, and it kind of gives you just an overview. I'm sorry.
Are you sharing from your screen? I still have my share on. Do you want me to hit play?
Yeah, go ahead and share out the rest of it. We don't need to switch back to me. Yeah, so this is a video Shannon put together just using some of the tools inside of Apple Clips, but it kind of gives you an idea of what you can have. Be a cool video to create real quick if you have an iPhone. If you have an Android, I'm sorry. But you could send this video out to your students, maybe as a, hey, we're at the end of this online distance learning. Have a great summer. Go ahead, Shannon.
Yep. Oh, how come it's not playing there, Steve?
Hi, my name is Shannon Quigley, and I'm a District Technology Coordinator for Fort Wayne Community Schools. This clip is all about me. When I first started with Fort Wayne Community Schools, I taught kindergarten, second, third grades, and was an instructional coach. Now, I'm a District Technology Coordinator. I work with teachers and students on how to use technology in their classrooms. Some of the things I love are Purdue University, where I graduated from. I love getting outside and taking walks, and I can't wait to read a good book at the end of the day. One of the things I've been learning recently is how to sketchnote to help me keep better memories of what I've learned. But my favorite thing to do is spend time with my family. I have 3 kids, Vincent, Olivia, and Harriet, and my husband, Michael. Thanks for learning about me. I can't wait to learn more about you.
Okay, kind of sharing that. You could also do like quick videos for content areas. So if you have an iPhone, you could make a quick video on really anything you're learning about. Pull images from the web. You could even do it to model a math problem, things like that. So it's not just people who are K2. I really think if you have an iPhone or something able to use Clips, it's a really good tool for creating professional looking short videos.
Yep, and it's real simple to use. You get 4 tabs. One's like photos from your photo camera roll. The other one is text. So it's pretty easy to use. Kids can even do it. So it's pretty neat there. I wanted to add this here for you. Apple, the people at Apple who we work with in the education department have online training, online webinars that they offer to teachers. The downside is that normally they cost, we have to pay for them. So they're a couple $1,000s, and then we get a couple hours with them. Well, during this COVID crisis, they've made all those resources and the trainings free. So they have, each week they have a bunch of different training webinars for different Apple tools and hardware that they have. And one of those is that Apple Clips that we just talked about. So next Tuesday, May 26th, I put the link down here. But if you want to sign up for that, we have a school Shannon and I are working on, like I said earlier, the K2, they're all going to use it. Sign up for this. It's 45 minutes. They go through and you create your own clip. You add different things in for your students and stuff. So it's a great way to get some good resources just on that application. So the link is there. Notice if you do sign up, if this is something you want to do, the time for that class, you got to scroll down to find the Clips class from all their different webinars, but it's Central Time. So we were going to try to do it this week, but we thought it was Eastern Time. The time they say is Central, so make sure you adjust for that. So we'll go to the next one, which I think is our last slide today. So this is, we're pretty much wrapped up. unless we have some questions come in there. But we have a website that we like to get some feedback from you on how we're doing. Was this good? Was it too fast? Did Steve talk too much? You can throw whatever you want in there. But we have a sign up form there, and I put it down there, the fwcs.info/tech sign up. It's all lowercase. And if you sign up there, and we'll be able to send you information every week on new resources that we have. And then if you also sign up, we will give you one of those free, I'm gonna have a drawing and give away one of those free Screencastifies. So that is a good resource there to get up to date. And we'll be doing this all throughout the summer, I think. So we're not gonna quit. So even if you're driving around or something on your phone and you want to see the latest tech tip, that's the way to get it.
And just, I put the link to this presentation in the chat. So if you want to copy it, you can grab it now if you don't want to go to the technology resource page as well.
Yep. And I saw one question in there. I just picked out, my iPad says that I have to be updated to the latest iOS for that Clips app. That is true, but you can go ahead and update it. There's nothing stopping you guys to go into the latest iOS version.
Mm-hmm.
If it is a teacher's iPad, yes, you can download the app on your own.
And normally, just to kind of plug, since some people might be dropping off here as we're wrapping up, we normally do these PLs on Monday and Thursday at 1 o'clock. Next week, since it's Memorial Day, we will not be here at 1 o'clock to give you any professional learning. But on Tuesday, us ladies of the tech team, Diana and Sarah and I, are going to be presenting on just some, like when you used to go to PLs that were make and take back to your classroom, you had some things to use right away. We're going to kind of do a take things that we've already created for you and make them your own next Tuesday at 1 o'clock. Same time, just a different day, so that for those last few days of online learning, so it's going to be things that you can just kind of grab and use with your classroom that same day or later that week. So just kind of help you wrap up the year with some tech activities.
Excellent. And Shannon, can you go up to that second slide that we have? We have about 2 minutes. A couple questions. Someone asked, if you guys want to stay after, we're going to end here in about a minute. So if you want to ask any questions about our presentation, or someone asked a question about Bitmoji, we'll be happy to hang around and answer those. We created this slide. We did all of this in Google Slides. So all tools that you guys can use. If you missed our Bitmoji class, that recording is up on our teacher resources page. So you see here the little picture of me and the picture of Shannon. Those are the Bitmojis. The pictures of the Mountain Dew cans and Alf back there. Rick is our resident Alf guy. He's got his voice down, so I always like to throw in a little Easter egg back there. I used an application called, I think it's called remove.bg. What it does is it takes a picture from Google and removes the whole background and just leaves you Alf here. And so it doesn't leave that white box around it. So I can tell you more about that, but you see in some of the slides I added pictures. So it saves me a lot of time. I don't have to use Photoshop for that. It just creates a simple picture. So I thought I'd share that with you. So if anybody wants to stick around, otherwise we are done, right, Shannon?
We're done. That's a wrap.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you very much. Hope you found some good things you can take back and use.
All right, I'll stop recording at this point.
Okay.